Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. Welcome to a brand new day. Hokey smokes. It started to snow last night. And now it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and most of it's gone. There was very, very little of it. Just a light sprinkling. It's mostly just evaporated or melted into the ground. Yay, but it has been bitter, bitter cold. Hokey smokes, last night was the first time it's actually been cold, where I felt the bedroom being cold while I was tucked in my warm bed. So thumbs up for that. I'm gonna have the windows open, I have the fan going on, I have the heat turned off, and I had my fleecy blanket. Yay! So it's very cold. Like I said, bitterly cold. I've been outside a few times. I have to clean the bathrooms in the community center. I've been in there already. They're not bad, so I've swept. I don't know where there's a mop. I'd like to mop, but I don't know where there's a mop. I've looked in the utility areas. No map. So past that, I'm going to go back out there and do some stuff throughout the day. I was working in there, but then a lot of stuff going on. Social anxieties. I had my med manager appointment today, so we talked about this, that, and the other, and in 2 more months I'll be talking with her again, but we're continuing with my medications. Thumbs up for that. Yay! So past that, from yesterday to today, I have not done a lot. One thing that I have done, and I hopefully will show it, I made a playmat for Final Girl, and hokey smokes, that is it took 2, 4, 6, 8 sheets of paper. It's big, but I like playmats in that it tells you where everything goes, and it doesn't have to look good, it just has to work. I mean, sure, the neoprene playmats look nice, and given the opportunity, I would like to have the neoprene playmats for most of my games that are just the card things to put down. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to them. They're just 20 bucks and some a pop, and I can get a game for that price, or an expansion for a game, instead of just a sheet of neoprene. So yeah, the playmats are nice, and this is excellent. The one that was sent to me by the same person who sent me the hardback for D100 Dungeon. So thank you. I doubt they watch at this point anymore, and unfortunately I can't even remember the name of the person. But yeah, so thank you each and every person that does send me things. That is awesome. I mean, right now no one can send me anything other than purchasing things off my wish list, off my Amazon wish list. But, you know, because we have an issue here, a couple issues. The place is so new. Until we have an approved lockbox, we can't have mail delivered here individually. So they hold all mail at the post office because they can't deliver it individually. So that's fun. And if you get an Amazon package where the driver relies on GPS, we're not on GPS. So it just goes off to someplace weird, where usually they have to drive past us to get to the weird place they're going to, but they're following GPS, so they don't know. Yay. But still, life is life. One thing that I do want to do, and I feel bad about this because I left it over there, so I'll be right back. It's a whole bunch of stuff. And by a whole bunch of stuff, I don't mean it's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, what a mess I am making. It's awful and horrible, and I should be ashamed for being so unprepared. And I'm just beating myself up for no good reason. So my apologies for that. I have shown before, in fact I did a whole table setup thing for Final Girl. Here's the core box. Hopefully I'll remember to flip the X-axis so that it's legible and not backwards. And then I had before picked up the original first one. It's the Camp Happy Trails Horror with Haunts the Butcher, which, you know, is the guy that goes around and murders people with his sledgehammer. The one thing I really liked about this box is it's got a really, really good magnet on both sides of these for the location. And the Final Girl core box has a nice magnet to hold that on. Well, I picked up, this is the thing that was delivered, Carnival of Blood. I'm trying to angle this so it's straight. With Geppetto, who's a puppet master, and there's puppets that run around in it. But the thing is, there's no magnet on this side, and there's no magnet on this side. There's a magnet here where it holds it to the box, but not shut. So now you got to be careful that these don't fall out while you're holding onto the box. You got to hang on to it all the way. But I was watching a ranking of the first 10 feature films for Final Girl, and this is like number, not really high up on the list, but not down at the bottom either. And then the Camp Happy Trails is up near the top. There's this one person that really loves the game. She ranked them all. And she hasn't ranked season 3. I don't know if season 3 is even out for purchase yet off Kickstarter, but there's coming a season 3, so thumbs up. Anyway, I just wanted to show that off because that's what showed up at the Amazon drop-off place at the Shelton Pharmacy, so thumbs up for that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about with the machine learning, because it's not artificial intelligence, it's machine learning for all of these various things. The term that gets tossed around is artificial intelligence. It's not artificial intelligence, it's simple machine learning. It's when you're doing the tech stuff with chatbot stuff, it's just highly advanced predictive text. And it's largely the same stuff for the art, but I'm not too big. I haven't really gone into and learned about that portion of it. The only thing that I have been able to figure out and why things can look so weird on the AI art department is this. When you think of a picture and you want to put it onto a two-dimensional image, you have to still provide in your own head a three-dimensional space with a three-dimensional thing. You're not doing, you know, technological, oh, I need to come across with a box this big and then map all this. No, it's just that when you look at that, though, you know it is a three-dimensional object. And if you want to represent it as a two-dimensional thing, you have to do a whole lot of art stuff to make it appear three-dimensional. You know it's a three-dimensional object in a three-dimensional space. So if you're going to manipulate it, you know it's a three-dimensional object. There are a lot of the art programs like Blender out there that when you are creating an object, it is a three-dimensional object in a three-dimensional space. It's all mathematical, it's all representation, but yes, in both of these cases, you are representing on a two-dimensional surface the three-dimensional object within a three-dimensional space. But with machine learning art, it's only manipulation of pixels on the two-dimensional front. The machine learning algorithms have no idea that this is a three-dimensional object within a three-dimensional space. So when you see a lot of these animations of art stuff that looks really weird, that's just because, again, it's just direct manipulation of pixels with no thought of what it is in a three-dimensional space. Now, things are getting better all the time, unfortunately, and as we have seen, you know, if you watch stuff online, they have, and this is sad, I watched the guy on Mad TV, Will Sasso, who, with another person on a podcast, they did a 1-hour stand-up special of George Carlin using machine learning stuff for the voice and more. Yay. So life is life on that front too. Still though, I mean, we're not going to have to worry about a lot of this stuff. I see so much stuff about what life is going to be in 2100 that doesn't even address what's going to be happening with rising sea levels. Because we've got that ice that's falling off of I think it's the Antarctic shelf that's gonna slide off, and there's nothing we can do. And when it melts, the ocean levels are gonna rise about 17 feet. That's only 70 years away. That is within the lifespans, conceivably, of some of you watching this right now. There is going to be a lot of climate refugees in the United States. Actually, more climate change refugees, because we've already had the United States government doing relocation of indigenous and, not necessarily indigenous, but of people who are living in places that, well, because of climate change, the island doesn't really exist anymore. And so they've had to relocate them. They are literally climate change refugees. So thumbs up. But past that, I am doing my very, very best to, at the very least, survive, which is, we all do what we have to do. I have, I was going to say I have no food here, which isn't true. I have a bag of cheese in my refrigerator, and my sister sent me some dehydrated potato mix, those individual potato things that you can get, instead of mac and cheese in a cup, it's mashed potatoes in a cup. And I have some of that to put cheese into, and I already ate this morning. It's just I have no more non-mashed potato food. As I've talked with my sister and my various therapist and med manager, yes, cost, if this is the baseline of what I was making before, and my costs were, but that's not the important part at the moment. This is the baseline. The cost of living went up like this. And so they raised up what I get in my disability. But because of this, they also stopped paying went from $173 a month for food to $23. So that's $150 gone. And also because of that, I have to pay for the Medicare, which is another $170. So I got an extra $42. And because I got that extra $42, I lose $320. So I am $320 less than I was making, because the cost of living allowance bumped me up by $42. And that $42 went over the threshold, and wham! Life is life. Still though, I'm going to try and keep doing creative things. I'm always thinking of creative stuff in my head, even if I can't necessarily do anything with it. That wasn't English. Do anything with it is better English. Not what I was trying to say, but still. I have not been able to write anything since I last talked about it. I've tried to bang out a few paragraphs here and there. Sometimes just regular story ideas, sometimes war story stuff. But it's never more than like a paragraph or two. But you know what? A paragraph or two is better than no paragraphs at all. So remember that. Even a tiny bit of progress is better than no progress. So even if you're only going to make an inch or two, it's worth it, because that's better than not making anything at all. So thumbs up on that. And remember, be creative for creativity's sake, because if you turn your passions into work, then it's work. It's not your passion anymore. So yeah, when they say monetize your passions, yeah, then you don't have passions anymore. All you're doing is working all the time. Yay. So on a creative front, I'm still trying to, as stated, think of things as best I can. I've been thinking of characters, situations, working on various background rules of this, that, and the other. Because there's the inside, the outside, the razor's edge, and the razor's edge, again, just that transition point where, again, I've been talking so much about the cryptids with their cryptid genome that expresses, but if you're on the inside or you live on the razor's edge, there's another genome there that opens. But that just gives you the ability to see and access glamours, which is how you can travel. Because on the inside, and especially on the razor's edge, everything is largely in a superposition outside of stable areas. And you have stable areas that have been either stabilized through very strong external means or is stabilized through intelligence, which is like groups of people, which is settlements. So they are stable, and as a population grows, that stable area too grows. And so you can have an area that's not bizarre. You stretch out of that though, and you begin creating your own personal layer, which can be anything, since the entirety of anything that is not stable is in a superposition. On the inside, there is 1,000 miles for every square mile. On the inside, on the razor's edge, there's 1,000,000 square miles for every square yard. So there's a lot of there because of the superpositioning. Yay! I can go, well, I have to go more into that on its own because Cliff's Notes, otherwise I could be here for a half hour talking about these things. I've had years to think about it. It's all strung together. So thumbs up on that. As a quick aside, I've been watching a lot of videos of late about Emil, I don't know how the hell you pronounce his last name, one of the lead writers at Bethesda, and people that are just now talking about this lecture and talk he gave in 2015, which I heard about when he had done it, where he is not a good designer or writer. And people are now just going, oh my God, over this video, because if you watch the video, his views and the way he does stuff is just appalling. So yeah, no wonder things aren't doing great at Bethesda story-wise. They don't do design documents, which I don't know if you know. It's not even a programming thing. Design documents, if you have more than 2 people, you need a design document to keep everybody in the loop so that they know what's going on, so that they've got an idea what the project is. So if somebody does something, it's in the document so that you know about it. They don't do that at Bethesda because Emil finds it hard. But anyway, hopefully at the end of this I've got a little extraneous show, the Playmats thing, because I've been making a lot of Playmats. I've redone most of them because, hey, they were practice. They don't look good in that they're not great art or even have straight lines on them. But they work. And that's the important part, so thumbs up on that. Plus, I've jerry-rigged and all that my entire life, so yeah, continue the jerry-rigging. Yay! So, each and every one of my Patreon patrons who is not on a list on this screen, I'm going to get that up there as soon as I can, again, I promise, but you know who you are. You're beautiful and awesome people, all of you, each and every one of you. Thank you so very, very much. Without your help, I would be a hurting monkey, and I appreciate the help. For everybody that has left me a comment, it is greatly appreciated. I read each and every one of them, and I try to answer those I can't. Those I can't, I try to talk about in video, and those I can't even do that, just be aware, again, I read each and every one of them and appreciate that. So thumbs up and thank you. So hey, we're heading into the weekend. I still need to get hold of the hospital for a bunch of various reasons, because yeah, I'm afraid of things like cancer. And I have pains inside of my body I want to check on. Unfortunately, I have mental issues where I've been fighting to get some of these appointments done. Yay! Still though, I'm going to do what I can do. Hopefully you can do what you can do. And hopefully wherever you are, you're not too cold, too hot. Hopefully you're just right. Thumbs up for that. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. So now I'm going to grab this, and then hopefully I'm going to show the Playmats, and yeah, so you take it. Well, howdy. I am showing my desktop here because these are the new mats that I had made. This one is a new tin helm mat. It looks better. It is smaller, just 2 sheets. Over here, this one is still the one deck dungeon sheet. This one, even though it's got sloppy writing and ink smears that went all over my hand, this is the 8-bit dungeon playmat, and it seems to be pretty good. Now this one, I really want to use this one and show it playing again, because it's got this piece and this piece for Iron Helm. Now this one's the monster. They don't normally have a playmat for this, but this is a playmat for Final Girl. Now the reason I have playmats is, number one, so that the stuff doesn't slide around on my slick, cheap plastic tables and such like that, but also it tells me where things go. And with my neurodiverse brain, this helps so much. Knowing that it's just right there and it's telling me what to do helps 1001%. So hey, you take care, and I'll talk to you all later.